Hey Bulldogs, let's see what's happening this week on Code Blue News. Matt discusses the possibility of a full return to school. Natalie talks about the mental health of students and staff. And George kicks off a new series, Don't Harsh My Mellow. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Hey Bulldogs, welcome back to Code Blue News Season 3. I'm Joseph McLaughlin here with Andrew LaRossi, 6 feet apart.
Freshmen, there will be a brief class meeting Monday after school at 2:30. The link will be posted in the Google Classroom.
Progress reports will also be going out during the last class of the day today.
Last week, we brought up Governor Baker's push for schools to fully return in person. Matt Messina is here with a more in-depth look at a possible return.
On Tuesday, February 23rd, Governor Baker held a conference to discuss the state of Massachusetts schools. While many schools in Mass have been hybrid or full remote through the school year, Baker and many other politicians were pushing for every student to return to school daily. But how exactly would that look for a hybrid school such as HMHS? Baker's announcement was a polarizing one. Many parents don't want every child to return to school because the COVID-19 numbers are only getting higher. As for Holbrook Middle-High School, our classes are simply not big enough for the students to be 6 feet apart. Our school would have to settle with keeping students 3 to 4 feet apart, which would make a lot of high-risk children uncomfortable.
We'd have to come up with all these new plans and then make so many adjustments for kids to be back for like a month, and it just doesn't really seem worth it to me to risk everything like that.
While Massachusetts teachers are eligible for the vaccine on March 11th, there has been no such date scheduled for high school students. Additionally, a lot of students don't mind hybrid learning and believe it is the safest option.
As much as I think it would be fun, at this point, I just don't think there's any point in doing it. Like, I don't know, I feel like we've changed routines like so many times and it's just not consistent. And I'd rather just keep some type of consistency.
And I kind of feel like if the model's working, then we should kind of just keep doing the same thing.
On the other hand, the mental health of most students has the potential to drastically improve if we completely return to school. Being able to see our classmates every day could be what kids need to stay motivated during the pandemic.
I firmly believe that students learn best while they're in school, not only for academic purposes, but also for those social factors that they have missed out on so much while learning while at home.
Most students would also agree that it is easier to retain information when you learn it in a classroom.
I feel like when we're in school, we learn better because at home there's no really motivation to do your work.
Being able to ask your teacher specific questions not only makes it easier to complete assignments, but to learn from them. In the end, many students and parents will fight on both sides of the argument. However, Charlie Baker and company are under pressure to choose soon, as most kids only have 3 months left before vacation. Of course, we at Code Blue News will keep you updated on this matter. This is Matthew Messina, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Matt.
Next Monday and Tuesday, we will be concluding Senior Code Blue Feud. Monday will be the third place round, and Tuesday will be the championship round. If you are on a team and still unsure which day to come in, please contact Matthew Messina or Miss Grant.
Attention sophomores, juniors, or seniors that are interested in careers in the medical field. Please be sure to check your emails from yesterday for information about a virtual field seminar to speak with staff at Boston Children's Hospital and hear about the various paths that led to their current positions.
One aspect of the pandemic that hasn't been talked about enough is the impact it has had on mental health. CBN reporter Natalie Holbrook has more on the story.
Mental health has been an important topic over the months where isolation and separation can really take a toll. Whether you're in or out of school doing remote work, it is important to make sure everyone feels heard and understood. A lot of students may not have expected this style of learning to last this long. Some may have found this learning style to be easier, but that might not be the case for everyone.
It's been a pretty tough year. It really tests your limits and how well you are with time management, which can be stressful. I think that when it comes to school, routine is very important, and it's hard this year because we are constantly switching things around And I think that the way we have it going with the cohorts and then being online every other day, since we've kind of gotten used to it, sticking with that through the end of the year would be beneficial.
Mental health has definitely gotten better. I'm not gonna lie. When I was remote, I was able to identify my goals and what I wanted to do in life. You know, I have a pretty good support system from my friends and teachers.
I have definitely learned that speaking out and talking to people is not something to be ashamed of, and that asking for help doesn't mean you're weak or fragile. It actually shows a lot of strength.
It is clear that students have had to miss out on a lot of school this year due to COVID-19. However, let's not forget about the staff too. They have done a lot to include all the students, online or in person, and are trying their best to make sure everyone is having a good learning experience.
I think, like everyone, it's been a little bit of a struggle. I think that it's tough not seeing all of my students every day, and it's tough trying to juggle everything, but I'm trying to stay positive. At least we get to be here 2 days a week. Thinking about like back in March when we like first were stuck home, and I was like, wow, well, I have like a family that I get to be home with. Like, it just made me appreciate the things that I do have more, because I know that there were people in worse situations than my own.
I found that I actually have a lot more resiliency, I think, and I'm able to do more than I thought that I could. I also think spending as much time as I have with my family has made me definitely learn to appreciate them more, and definitely spend a lot more time with my son, which I think is the most important. I think it's the most important thing right now is to seek out somebody who can help you and get you through that, because I think there's a stigma behind mental health, and I think it's important to note that we're all going through it and that we don't need to go through it all alone.
It is important to understand that everyone, whether they're a student or staff member, is going through their own obstacles, and we can all be there for each other. This has been Natalie Holbrook for Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Natalie. We have a quick announcement about the start of the Fall 2 season. Football players will have their first practice on Monday at 2:30. If you are coming in from home, enter through door 10. All other sports will start on Wednesday. More details will be emailed out today.
Now, let's go to a brand new segment by George Starr. A quick disclaimer, George's opinions do not represent the rest of us on Code Blue.
George's opinionated humor doesn't represent us either.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite abomination from the Code Blue family here, back with a new segment. This one's called Don't Harsh My Mellow, and it's pretty much just me complaining about things that are not important to anyone else. The first thing I'm going to be complaining about is old people, of course. After a certain age, your brain starts to take the mental equivalent of a dump, and your brain forgets how to human. Your brain forgets how to act like a normal person. Old people are kind of like raisins. Sure, some people like raisins, but a lot of people wish they were just young again, kind of like we wish raisins were just grapes. I just need to clarify that raisins are grapes. For that joke to work, I need everyone to know they're the same thing. A lot of old people forget how the world works, which is one of the reasons they make me very angry sometimes, especially at work. Some old people think they're like the pinnacle of everything. They're above everyone else. Old people sometimes like can't accept change, especially like when it's in your family or something that's like been with them their entire life. There's always that one cool old person who like has the Hawaiian shirts, shorts, and those white New Balances. You guys know which ones I'm talking about. Your dad probably has them. Just search up white dad shoes. You'll get them. The other types of old people are the ones that get too old too fast. I'm talking like those grandmas that drive worse than me. And I can't even drive. Here's an idea. What if at the age of 50, you have to retake your driver's test or retake some sort of exam to make sure you're still safe on the road? Like, I think that's a good idea. This has been George Starr for Code Blue News.
Thanks, George. But what would Grandpa George think of this?
Moving on, for members of National Honor Society, there is a blanket making project on March 10th. Check the Google Classroom or email Ms. McDonough with any questions.
Before we go, we're going to pull 2 more teachers' names for gift cards courtesy of the HMHS parent group. And I have these names right here, and a Mickey Mouse hat, of course. You know, and
2 more names, Jerry.
2 more names. Pick them with your eyes closed. I believe I have the 2 names. I do. They are in my hand. They are on the desk. And we have Miss Killian And Miss McCarthy.
Congratulations to those that were pulled. Well, that wraps it up for this week's show. I'm Angelo Rossi.
And I'm Joseph McLaughlin. See you next Friday for our 100th episode special.